Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, your creative superpower with Zoe Muro. And now, here's Zoe.
Welcome to the New Thought Media Network. My name is Zoe Muro, and as always, it is my honor to be your host for Choice. Oh, it's going to be one of those days, isn't it? It is my honor to welcome you to Choice, your creative superpower. Coming to you from Oakland, California, each Thursday at 11 a.m. Pacific Time, 12 noon Mountain Time. We explore how you can wield your superpower for the greatest good as you co-create your life experience. If you're coming back, it's good to have you here again. And if this is your first time, welcome to the show. I'm a religious science practitioner with the New Thought Media Network. I'm also a transformational coach. My ministry as a practitioner and my mission as a coach are to help people live their lives to the fullest. Today, in episode 41, we'll be exploring the relationship between choice and success. Now, I'm certainly not going to ask you if you think success is important to your experiencing a fulfilling life, because, hey, fulfillment is success. And if you've tuned into this show, well, we're already on the same page. Now, having said that, that might be the only point that can garner universal or, well, nearly universal agreement for this topic. I don't think there's any topic that everybody agrees on, but we do have some work to do here. So let's start this exploration. Now, we could spend hours, if not days, simply repeating quotes about success. And I'm sure every one of you has one, if not a dozen. But I'm going to spare you that exercise. I'll definitely slip in a few here and there. It'd be remiss of me not to, I think. Ooh, as a matter of fact, a therapist by the name of Bill Kavanaugh, addressing success, once described it as being one of the most beautiful explorations that each individual can make. One of the most beautiful explorations that each individual can make. I love that. Specifically, he was talking about the process of defining success for yourself. Hear me out. I truly believe that making the effort to determine what success is in itself a success, and an important one. If you were to think back to our show on mindset, for those of you who haven't seen it, it was from January of 2023. Being able to find value and to celebrate effort as well as result is one of the hallmarks of a growth mindset. And if you're looking for success, that's the mindset that's going to get you there more consistently, more effectively, and far more reliably. Now, most of us probably want to do more than just try. We typically want to succeed. Or why would we be putting in the effort in the first place? Now, I am well aware that there is a condition that is referred to as fear of success. I do want to address that, but not yet. Not yet. We'll get there. For the time being, I want to stick to the idea of success as being desirable, highly desirable at that. So Working from that perspective that success is desirable, that then brings me to this question. Is success a choice? Considering that the dictionary defines it as the achievement of something desired, planned, or attempted, reads like that's, yeah, I would say it's important. And yeah, it's a choice. Because let's face it, all of those things, whether we're talking about desiring something, planning, attempting, those are all actions that require your effort, your agreement to do that. I mean, I suppose somebody could be pushing you to do something, or somebody could plan plan something for you. But if I'm the one doing the planning, and it is truly my desire, and I'm the one making the attempt, I'm the one choosing that action. So from that perspective, without a doubt, I see success most definitely as a choice. But I want to open this up. How often have you planned something and it just didn't work out? Just absolutely not. Was that a success or not? Well, the planning might have been successful. That is, you wanted to plan something and you did. Well, that creation of a plan is a success. Now, the execution of the plan, or the lack of execution, that might have been anything but a success. Have you ever achieved or completed something and still felt it wasn't a success? As some of you know, I used to be a racer, trail running specifically. My very first race, I came in first in my age group. I think it was the 60 plus age group. And I won a gold medal. The air quotes are there because I was also the only person running that race who was in my age group. And yeah, that was actually the first race I ever ran. I started running very late in life. I remember I was actually embarrassed to accept the medal because I didn't feel that I had achieved or succeeded at anything. I mean, yeah, I was first, but I was the only one. It took a while for me to see that, first of all, I entered a race, despite the fact that it scared the bejesus out of me. And despite fearing I would not even finish. Secondly, I finished in a decent time for a relatively new trail runner. For those of you who are runners, trail running is a different animal from road running, most definitely. And third, as one close friend pointed out to me, hey, you were faster than all those other old guys who never bothered to get off the couch in the first place. Okay, yeah, I guess I'll take the old guy part of it. On the other side of the spectrum, I counted as a success one of the toughest races I ever ran, despite the fact that I finished absolutely dead last, the back of the pack for my age group, and way far back of the pack for the overall group. But I ran what I felt was a great race, and I left it all out there. There were zero regrets. You know, when I think back to that race and I think of how hard I ran and what an intense course it was, it was a thing of beauty. Absolutely. How we choose to define success is crucial to our ability to see success. Let me say that again. How we choose to define success is crucial to our ability to see success. Have you ever succeeded at something only to have somebody else downplay it? And then you're like, oh, well, yeah, maybe it really wasn't a success after all. Well, folks, I'm calling BS on that one. Never let anyone steal your success, because that is a choice as well. So we choose to do something, to accomplish something, and we choose to define what success looks like for that. And then, well, we have the opportunity to choose to do whatever is in our control that is necessary to ensure success. Okay? So there's more to it than simply planning, right? We actually have to do something with that plan. There's more to it than simply saying, oh, this is what I would like to have, and then sitting back, right? There's work to do. And one of the biggest questions you can always ask yourself is, what is mine to do? Now, one of the more powerful, but not necessarily intuitive choices we can make to ensure success is the people with whom we share our plan, our idea, or the outcome itself. I can't tell you how many times I've seen people who are truly excited and pursuing something wonderful, only to find they abandoned it after receiving disparaging negative feedback. As the chairman, Frank Sinatra, sang, that's life. As funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on a dream. And yes, you're welcome from my not singing. I promised you after the last time I did, I wasn't going to do that anymore. But in all seriousness, as limiting as self-doubt is, allowing others to plant those seeds, that's never fruitful. I think I have a seriously mixed vegetation metaphor, but you get my idea, right? So instead, choose to bring your ideas and your victories to those who can celebrate them and celebrate you. Now, I'm not simply saying, go out and look for people who think no matter what you say or do is brilliant. All right? We want reality. We want real. But I'm going to return to the garden for a moment, see if I can make this one work. If you want a plant to grow, you plant that seed in a fertile soil, not in sand. Well, I suppose there are certain things that grow in sand, but most things don't. You ensure that it's not choked out by weeds. You ensure that it has sufficient sunlight, moisture, all of the things that it needs to grow. This is why community can be so important to your success strategy. A supportive community, whether it's family, friends, a club, whatever. These are your people. These are your teammates, your pit crew, your sous chefs, whatever analogy works for you. Open to their support, their encouragement, their celebration, and yes, their pride in you. It's a choice. All right. So choose these people well. Choose to share with them. Choose to accept the praise. And if there is criticism, choose to accept that as well. Because these are people you trust. And folks, success breeds success. So never downplay it. Never diminish it with anyone could have done it. Because you were the one who did this. Or it was nothing really. I didn't really have to work that hard to make it happen. Because you were the one who put in the prep time, who studied or trained. You're the one who created or recognized the circumstances and conditions for success. And that deserves the accolades and that deserves the celebration. And while we're speaking of being open, another choice for success that we get to choose, okay, is to be open to possibilities, which may seem outrageous or possibly even out of our grasp. Now, I know I've used this quote from Ken Robinson before, but it feels absolutely perfect right now. Let me get this. He says, for most of us, the problem isn't that we aim too high and fail. It's just the opposite. We aim too low and succeed. The problem isn't that we aim too high and fail. It's just the opposite. We aim too low and succeed. Success sometimes just doesn't seem to care very much about our internalized timing. It's like, hey, and it can be daunting. It can be frustrating. It can be disheartening to make attempt after attempt. We come at a problem from one angle and it falls flat. We pivot to another perspective and it fizzles. But odds are we've learned something. We've moved that much closer to a solution, to our success, even if it means we now know what not to do, because there's benefit in that as well. Now, I would bet that everyone listening has heard the quote, when one door shuts, another opens. Well, it turns out that that's actually a misquote, and it's only a small portion of the idea that the author was putting out there. Here's what the gentleman who wrote this is named Samuel Palmer. This is what he actually wrote. I've got to read this. What he actually wrote was, when the door shuts, another opens. He that would struggle with the world and bear up in adversity ought still to resolve not to be discouraged. For resolution is the mother of fortitude, and not only necessary to our support, but very conducive to our deliverance. Resolution is the mother of fortitude, and not only necessary to our support, but very much conducive to our deliverance. I should also point out that he wrote, wise men make proverbs, but fools repeat them. And okay, I will gladly accept the title of fool. All right, I will gladly accept the title for fool for repeating all of this, because as he highlights fortitude, another aspect of choice and success is most certainly the importance of our perseverance. Now, I want you to understand that there is a huge difference between simply banging your head against the wall, trying the same thing over and over, and being persistent. But each unsuccessful attempt, I'm not going to call them failures, can be a success, right? Can be a success in its own right, to the extent that it allows us to learn, to adjust, to adapt, and to improve. Look up stories about Edison. Look up stories about, from the sports world, LeBron James. You'll find so many stories of people who failed constantly, right? And yet they went on to be tremendous successes. So the choice part of all this then is choosing perseverance as part of your process. And if you need help with that, remember, you have your community. All right. Now, if you'll bear with me for just a moment, please understand what I'm going to say next. This is not a commercial, but it is important. I mentioned that I'm a transformational coach. And as such, I work with people to help them first envision an outcome or a state, and then create and achieve goals which support that vision. Success is not measured simply by ticking off each goal. Right? Clearly, we want to succeed. But being willing and open to understanding what worked, what did not work, and more importantly, why, allows for successes within the success. Now, I employ a very strong, repeatable process for doing this, and I teach my clients that so that they can apply it to any vision and therefore to any goal that is in support of that without my assistance. Because achieving self-efficacy is indeed success in and of itself. So we have some comments here. Okay, Fiona, welcome. Good to see you. Glad you're coming in from Geneva. Always good to have you here. Is choice a causative force for success? Haha, very good question. I like that. Most certainly can be, absolutely. And success can breed more choices. Excellent point. Oh, and Bonnie, good to see you as well. Each attempt is a renewed commitment to your goal. Yes, if you choose it to be so. Excellent. Okay, now let's see. Where was I? Okay. I was speaking of resilience, of perseverance. How many times have you heard of someone described as an overnight success? You know, the vast majority of people, products, services that are described in that way were anything but overnight successes. In virtually all of those cases, what happened was a significant expenditure of time, of energy, and sometimes expense, as well as a choice to remain focused on the end game. And then finally, it was seen and embraced by enough people, or the right people, that is to say, the influential people, and voila, overnight success. Now, I absolutely will agree that the influence of the internet has certainly brought about many overnight sensations, most of whom also disappear just about as quickly. But let's be clear. Even many of those people had to develop a talent, a product, an approach, something that would catch the consumer's eye or ear. So while you're on your way to becoming an overnight success, don't forget the importance of acknowledging, now celebrating your success, each and every success. Now, I don't want you to get me wrong here. I'm not saying, if you put your shoes on in the morning that people are going to be jumping up and down and going, oh, wow, that was wonderful. But I recall after my surgery on my leg, putting on my own shoes without help. All right, that was definitely a success. And I spread the word. Now, I'm not talking about self-aggrandizement. I'm not talking about being proud of the simplest things that make absolutely no difference. I'm talking about self-compassion. I'm talking about self-love. I'm talking about recognizing the importance and the priority and the things that really resonate with you. Right? They're important. Your ability to commit, to persevere, can be strengthened or weakened by your willingness to treat yourself with kindness, with compassion, to accept yourself as you are in the moment, regardless of how you may be struggling to succeed. We want you to own and appreciate what feels like the less than shiny, brilliant you that you know lives within. Right? I'm talking about the shadow self. If you truly want success to be a part of your life, a huge, this is just fantastic part of your life, choose to love yourself. Both the brilliance of the unique light that shines within you and shines as you and through you, as well as the shadow. Because that shadow could not exist were it not for your light. Well, that's about it for today, folks. I hope that this has given you something to consider, something to think about. If so, it's been a success. I would love to hear your ideas. And I encourage you to email me at zodimuro@gmail.com. There we go. I always hold whatever you share with me in complete confidence. I'm always looking for topics that I can relate to choice. So if you have any ideas, by all means, please send me an email. If you want to come on the show and discuss one of these aspects of choice, once again, send me an email. Let me know. We can work something out. As much as I enjoy spending this time with you, and as grateful as I am that you are here, I also want to encourage you to look around the New Thought Media Network. Go to ntmedia.org and look around. Today, for example, 12 noon Pacific time. That's 1 p.m. Mountain time. I want you to check out Finding the Joy in the Journey with the simply marvelous Reverend Gina Calvario-Krupka. And today, her special guest is the ever-engaging Shay Michelle Davis. If you're looking for prayer, for meditation, information, discussion, we've got all of that. It is our mission to bring the joy of new thought to the widest possible audience. So if you can go to ntmedia.org/donate and help us to spread that word as far and wide as possible, it'd be greatly appreciated. So until the next time, I hope that each and every one of you chooses to live the most magnificent life, because it is your superpower to do so. Namaste.
Choice, your creative superpower. We have the power to manifest as we dedicate attention to our thoughts, but often miss opportunity to achieve the greatest good. Your superpower is waiting to be unleashed to unlock a fuller, more rewarding world for all. Join us every Thursday at noon Mountain Time for Choice, your creative superpower with Zo Muro.